Okay, if you want to come on in and have a seat.
Oh, thank you. How you doing?
Very nice, very nice. Mr. Richards, I'm the campus president here at ECPI University Emory-Wood. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself, please.
My name is Kenneth McLein. I have quite an extensive background in retail at the moment. Right now I fix appliances, so I'm in clients' homes on a daily basis all day long, fixing their problems. I had a medical mishap this year that led me to realize that my heart was in the medical field. Decided to try ECPI and have been here since.
Very good, very good. Well, tell me a little bit about where you are in the medical assisting program at this time.
I'm not sure as exactly technically what stage I'm in. I've had my pharmacology class, I've had EKG, I've had medical terminology. I got my CET certification. I was supposed to graduate in November. It's going to be extended a little bit, only because of some outside source issues. But I'm doing quite well. My grades have been nothing under a B, mostly A's, but I think I got a B in one class.
Okay.
So that's the standard I set for myself.
Okay, very nice. What about your attendance? How would you rate your attendance?
Rarely, if at all, missed class at all.
Okay. And what is your philosophy for success in the classroom?
Success, not just in the classroom, my philosophy for success, period, is always be ahead of the game. If you're right on time or if you're just going with the flow, that's not going to get you ahead. You're just skating by. I'm always ahead of time. I always get my assignments done ahead of time. I'm always, before class, at least 15 to 20 minutes before class, if not more. Generally, I'm here an hour before, in most cases. But I just feel like if you're not making that attempt, being raised in a military family, if you're on time, you're late.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, the position that we're interviewing you for is a federal work-study position. This position would actually be paid for by the federal government, and what we are looking for is one of our federal work-study students to work with Bon Secours in their RVA Community Cares program. And so we are really hoping that this could lead to more opportunities for federal work-study students to aid Bon Secours, and of course it would be a tremendous benefit for ECPI University as well. Can you tell us how you would go about representing ECPI University in this role if you were accepted for this position?
First and foremost will be professionalism. Your appearance, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Your appearance sets the tone. Your body language, active listening, all that is going to set the complete tone from the customer from there, making them feel comfortable with you. If they're not comfortable with you, they're not going to talk to you. Plain and simple.
Very good, very good. And what about the RVA Community Cares project? Do you know about it? I know Mr. Bernard has had Lindsay Marshall on campus before, so what do you know about the project so far?
Lindsay Marshall actually did come to our class and spoke to us about it. She gave us the breakdown of it as well as the script. I've extensively looked over both. I'm very, very excited for the program. I think it would benefit, all of the clients that they have. Like what I do in putting out fires for clients, it's trying to figure out what their problems are and what we can do about it. That's the general gist of the program, and I love that. Hearing that a client can't pay for their medicine, their food, transportation, and they have to pick one of those sometimes, every month just to get by. I mean, if they can't take their medicine, obviously they're not going to get healthy. They're not going to be able to help themselves. So being able to help them, that speaks the world to me.
Okay, very good, very good. And what about your work schedule? Can you tell me about your work schedule coupled with your school schedule and what availability you would have potentially to go into the RVA Community Cares program as a federal work study student?
Yeah, absolutely. So my schedule at work, generally I work Tuesday through Saturday from 8 to 4. Sundays and Mondays I'm off. Class I have 2 nights a week right now. So other than that, I have open availability past those. Sundays and Mondays I'm pretty open. I do volunteer at church in the mornings, but other than that, Sunday from afternoon on, I'm open all day.
Yeah, get that thing into about volunteering at church. That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice too. Okay.
Excuse me.
Obviously, we want to start this with somebody who is going to set a very professional tone with Bon Secours in this new role, hoping that they will see the benefit of it and ask us to bring on more work-study students to benefit them. Can you give me some examples of ways in which you have gone above and beyond the call, either on campus at ECPI or out in the field where you work?
I was recently given the opportunity in the pharmacology class to teach EKG to the LPNs by Mr. Bernard. They, I don't know whether they were having you know, an understanding or not an understanding or not, but he gave me the opportunity to teach the class that night to them, and that helped me quite a bit.
Okay, very good, very good. Did you feel like you were ready to step in and take on a role like that after having gone through the EKG class and earning your CET credential?
I was extremely nervous at first, but I mean, I just did exactly what came natural, exactly what he taught us. Mr. Bernard's a fantastic teacher, and being able to make things understandable is one of the things he excels at. And so I used that gift that he presented to the students for me.
Okay, very good. Do you think you would be able to take that upon this role as a federal work study student with the Bon Secours Community Cares program?
Absolutely, I would love to advocate for for the clients to Bon Secours and to on behalf of Bon Secours for ECPI.
Okay, very good, very good. Do you have any questions for me since we're pretty much to the end of the interview?
Absolutely. So I consider myself a team player, and I understand that I'll be on the federal work study program. I would just like if you could give me an example of how, the example of a team in place for me to make sure I'm successful in the program would look like.
Okay, very good. Well, typically what we would do with our federal work study students is we would have them first reach out to Miss McLein in Career Services. She handles all the federal work study students. This is kind of a unique opportunity though, because the work study student normally is on our campus, and in this example, they would be paid for through federal money going through ECPI campus, but they would in fact be working at a Bon Secours facility. So you would reach out to Miss McLein initially, and then if there was any other concerns, then we would have you reach out to Lindsay Marshall as well. It would be a little bit different chain of command than what we would normally have our work study students, but that's also why we need somebody in place who is extremely professional, so we can, for lack of a better way to put it, iron out any wrinkles in this chain of command to make sure that any students that go into this role in the future, that we don't have any issues. And so that's one of the reasons we need somebody who is very professional, very well spoken, and very mature, who can keep up with a very fast pace, because we are writing a brand new script. And when we are writing a brand new script, sometimes there are difficulties that are unforeseen, and we have to make sure that whoever is in that place, for lack of a better way to put it, can roll with those punches.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It would definitely be an honor to represent ECPI in this program.
Okay. Do you have any other questions before we wrap things up?
I think that's about it. Well, actually, I do have a question about how the schedule would look like, if that's even a possibility right now.
Okay. Well, I know Ms. Marshall is very flexible. Mr. Bernard has had a number of students volunteer, and she has worked them into the schedule around their own schedule. And so that's what we're looking for as well. We would like to be able to put out a schedule to Lindsay that we could also, because we do have obligations to the federal government to give them, a set schedule for every 2 weeks. So what we would want to do is essentially we would give you a 2-week grid, and you would just mark off what your availability would be that you would plan on being at one of the Bon Secours facilities for the RVA Community Cares program.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, very good.
Absolutely.
Any final questions?
I believe that's it.
All right. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
the
We
opportunity.
certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, man, that's killer, dude.